No, I actually have a win here. Believe it or not, it was my first win in Iracing, matter of fact. But yeah, a lot of it's a high speed, short track, and it's got high banking. It's action packed. Your mistakes are very much blown up out of proportion, you know, because it's so fast. So it happens quickly, and it can be a big pile up. So we're going to see how these drivers do here tonight. It does look like we have 15 drivers to take the field, and looking forward to see how they can handle this concrete mayhem. Hey, Brad, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. Hey, not too bad. Hey, see, you're sitting currently in P number 7, getting ready to go out there on the track tonight. Why'd you go ahead and pick this track to be your race for the week? Well, your wife was probably happy, but yeah, it's a very unique track. I got a few that are my favorite as well, and you know, it's just kind of good to come out here and you know, to support a track that you like and kind of get out there. It looks like you're sitting in a pretty decent spot, so hope you to have the best finish and race that you can have here tonight. But we wanted to get you up here, see how you were doing, and maybe pull you back up here during the caution if there is one, more than likely so, if Bristol's being Bristol. But yeah, we just want to give you some time for any shouts that you got on that number 88 here today. Well, it sounds good, Brad. We'll let you get ready, get in the car, and get ready to race here. Yes, sir. You got 15 car field here tonight, and on the pole here will be Mike Casey trying to redeem himself. Trying to get that third win on the season. TJ Ivey out there in P 2. Daniel Pink's in there in third. Zane Bierman's in fourth. Matthew Jordan. Yeah. And that. Maybe you're hold on. I set it up earlier. It should have been working. Go ahead, test. No. Do it again.
Check.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I had everything set up early, so for those that that did not hear Carl speaking, everybody's alive and well, and we'll get Bradley back in here to talk to him here as you know, he kind of put out there that it's his favorite track, and if he would have had a girl, they would have named their kid Bristol. So, but anyways, getting on here to tonight, Michael Casey is on the pole with TJ Ivey in second, Daniel Pinkson in third, Zane Bierman's in fourth, Matthew Jordan's in fifth, Foster Yates in sixth, Bradley Worley's in seventh, Douglas Ivey, Paul Helms, Matthew Radford, Dale Garner Jr., Billy Rickett, and find my mouse. See Daniel Rickett or Billy Rickett, which was fastest there in practice, and then come on. There we go. Sky Henderson, Richard Hartman, and Wade Inyard. So we're getting ready to go green here as a pace car will be coming in here very shortly. We'll go ahead and switch cameras up. Get this on the screen for you.
And we are green flag racing here. Mike Casey leads him down into turn number 1. TJ Ivy, again, your winner last week at Rockingham, is going to slide into second place. Zane Bierman, Daniel Pinkston out there as well. And hopefully the 22 can maybe have a little bit better run. I know he's mixed it up with these boys a couple times. His work schedule has kind of changed a little bit here, but good to see him out there in the field maybe for 1 or 2 more times for the season. In a battle with the 23 of Matthew Jordan, getting real close there in these first couple laps, and it can happen. You got to get these tires warmed up here, and it can be tough under lights here at Bristol.
Yeah, it's quick here, and you get comfortable getting this car kind of ripping around here, and just got to be careful. These tires will go away quickly. They're good for about 10-15 laps, and then if you out-war the tires, they're going to start pushing. I want to go ahead and in advance, if the paint on the cars are not correct, I want to apologize because some of them are showing and some of them are not here tonight, Carl.
Yeah, it's just trading paints being trading paints, and we'll try and refresh it and get everything all squared away for everyone. But Michael Casey is out front right now as he leads by just 1/10 of a second. TJ Ivy keeping him close at the front. Zane Bierman, Daniel Pinkston, Bradley Worley for your top 5. Then you got Matthew Jordan, Paul Helms, Billy Rickett, Dale Garner Jr., and Douglas Ivy as Jordan up into the wall here a little bit. Good looking paint scheme there on Billy Rickett. I believe he's new here to the series. As he's got the old school. I believe that was an Alan Quickie paint scheme there on the 7.
If it's a Hooters car, then yes. if right now everybody sees a.
I'm seeing a 7 Xerox, so I'm not sure what we're actually seeing.
And that's an old one. That's a really old one.
Either way, it's a good one. Either way, it's a good one.
Yeah, our paint schemes are not. Don't even. Yeah, they're not even good tonight. The trading paint's doing trading paint things. I had everything. Everything says it's loaded, so I'll keep refreshing to see if it comes back. But more than likely, now that we're underway in green here, it will be over before iOverlay gets their stuff together. So not iOverlay, but trading paint. But anyways, Michael Casey is out front right now with TJ Ivy in second, and then Zane Bierman in third. Daniel Pinkston, obviously, in fourth, and Worley makes it up to 205.
Yeah, for any baseball fans out there, over the past 2 days, they played one game here at Bristol, the stadium. It was the Stadium Series, the Stadium Classic, whatever it was. But the Speedway Classic, that's what it was. But apparently, it did not exactly go smooth. It went almost kind of like a Bristol race sometimes does. But obviously, you're creating a temporary baseball field in the middle of Bristol. It's tough to begin with. I know they've had their fun, quote unquote, putting the dirt on Bristol here a couple times. But apparently, designing and building the stadium inside there went, for the most part, pretty smooth. Weren't expecting any rain, and because of that, it's not built for drainage or anything like that. So end up having to play it over 2 days, finishing up today. But we'll get back to that in a moment. We got our first caution here of the race, and we'll take a look. It looks like maybe Dale Garner Jr. involved in this one. We'll see what happened.
Oh, that looks like the 84 got off the wall, and the
maybe Paul Helms. Yep. Up into the wall, the 31. He gets turned there from the 85. Pretty big impact there for the 31. And that is going to bring out our first caution of the race. Really not much you can do there. Helms just got in the wall a little bit, kind of checked everybody up, and nowhere to go. Up at the 79, sneaking through there. Foster Yates just getting maybe a little bit lucky, and it's kind of licking the stamp and sending it through there, but not so much for the 52, unfortunately, of Richard Hartman. The third getting pretty heavy contact there in the 31, but going to bring out our first caution of the night. And yeah, going back to what I was mentioning about the Stadium Series, so they had to play it over 2 days, finishing up today. Did have some pretty cool things, like when the team hit a home run, they had a car, I believe it was a Corvette. I just seen it briefly go around the track holding out a flag that said home run on it, so it was the home run car going around there. But apparently everything else about it did not exactly go to plan. I heard It was kind of the fire festival of baseball games, of Bristol events, everything like that. The food apparently consisted of hot dogs with no rolls. They had nachos with no cheese, and that was it. And even shuttles getting to from the parking lot to the complex here, you had to apparently take multiple shuttles to get there. It just, I had a chance to go there myself. I had a friend that had 2 tickets. It's about an 8.5-hour drive for me. The best 8.5-hour drive that I didn't do, apparently, because it sounded like it was just a bleep show through and through. But back to our race here tonight. It is again Michael Casey out front, TJ Ivey, Zane Bierman, Daniel Pinkston, and Billy Rickett for your top 5.
Yeah, not too bad, Carl. Getting 18 laps in and trying to get things settled here. As Carl's going to be in and out here a little bit tonight, but we got just a quick one, but a pretty good start. And it was just a little contact from a bump off the wall, and you could see how a driver just checking up to try to save the car, how fast it is, where things can kind of pile up and end up in 3 or 4 drivers here. But Mike Casey's going to be down on the inside with a 15 of TJ Ivey on the outside. Both lines are viable here. Not really one in particular line that's like the best here. It just really depends on tire wear. But the 6 is going to get on the gas, head him down to turn number 1. With a 15 of TJ Ivey on the outside and the 5 of Bierman on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, typically you'll kind of have 2 different lanes. You'll have the inside lane and the outside lane. A lot of times the drivers will kind of migrate down to the bottom once you kind of get into a bit of a groove. But ultimately, it's usually, at least for me, kind of more of a diamond line. You kind of dive it in there to turn 1, maybe let it drift up a little bit in between 1 and 2, and then diamond it so you can get a good run off the corners. But you got to be careful getting a little bit loose coming off the corners. It looks like we're going to get another yellow here. And we'll see what brought this one out. I didn't see anything on my end here. We'll see what brought it out here. Looks like some heavy net code in between the 21 and 85. Unfortunately, the 85 gets turned around. But we'll try and take a look at that one more time. But to me, it looked like, even from that far view, there looked like a good amount of net code. And that can happen here at Bristol. It's, even though it's a half-mile track, it's it's not much track-wise to load up. You got all the stands going around the entire thing. I mean, it is built like a coliseum here, and it's just a lot of kind of graphics all into one spot here, and sometimes that can just kind of mess up some guys out here. But that's going to bring out our second caution here of the night.
Yeah, we're going to group everybody back up again and do it all over again as we're on lap 22 of 150. Definitely, one of those tracks where, things can go awry quickly. Just kind of need to stay out of trouble and watch that, hold brakes, and, everybody just kind of take their time, breathe a little bit. And I'm sure there's something, in people's mind, whether they should go in and take tires and fuel and stuff like that. But everybody seems to be sitting out right at the moment as we continue here on lap 23.
We got 150 laps here at Bristol to get this thing done, and it's one that can go by pretty quickly. I mean, once you get in a groove here, once everybody starts spreading out here a little bit and you get into a run, I mean, the laps click by extremely quickly. I mean, the high banks here let you go extremely fast. I mean, sub 15-second lap times to get around this thing, and fastest drivers down into the mid 14s. It's kind of insane how fast you can get around a half mile here. In these Gen 6 cars, and it's every once in a while I catch when they have I don't know what you want to call it, not speed weeks here, but where they have events where they try and see if they can break any of the world records with some of the fastest cars. I know I've seen some like modified cars where they have almost kind of like an outlaw. They have huge wings on it to try and get you the downforce so they can hold it flat out through the thing, and it's kind of just insane how fast they rip around here with just holding that thing flat to the floor. But that's what the 6 right now Michael Casey's doing as we get it back here to green flag racing.
Yeah, I just need to kind of get things going here and definitely doing pretty good right now. And obviously, drivers kind of grouped up trying to push it a little bit harder. These cars do get around here really well. They used to feel really well. These cars and the trucks, I got my win in an ARCA car here, so, but it just, pretty much the same line. So it was all about just taking care of them tires and getting around here. And the 88's going to hit the wall there, but is able to keep it off the 97, keep it green here at lap 27.
And it's really what needs to happen. I mean, you're early into these runs here as Worley just scrapes the wall there a little bit coming off the corner. A lot of times it's going to take 2-3 laps to get these tires fully up to temperature and up to pressure, so you can really kind of lean on those tires a little bit. And unfortunately, if you got other cars around you might be leaning on them before you really want to, for sure. But once this thing spreads out again, 15 cars out here on the track, hopefully they can get some good green flag running in there. But everybody is still out there running. I know there's a little bit of a mix-up under caution there, but it is still Casey, Ivy, Bierman, Pinkston, and Rickett for your top 5. Jordan blinking out here a little bit. Hopefully his connection gets better. Jimmy, I know pre-race here, and maybe even now, you were kind of dealing with a little bit of issues down your way as well, and wasn't sure if the weather was going to hold off enough for you.
I mean, it was bad enough the cell phone tower went down, so it was pretty rickety down here, down in the Panhandle part of Florida. Thunderstorm just rolled through. I think it's let up now, but yeah, I was on the verge of being almost saying, hey, Carl, you might want to go live here with this one. It's definitely just a little shaky. I didn't know what was going to go on. So, but power here where I live is typically underground, but it usually doesn't have any issues until the storm passes. Like during the storm, it's usually okay. And after the storm, for some reason, it'll go off. It'll flicker. So if for some reason tonight I do drop, I apologize. I will be back as soon as possible. But yeah, it's going to be hopefully it won't be, hopefully everything will just hold up tight here. Oops. Of course, I hit the pause button.
I promise we're good. We're good yet.
we can pause the race, folks, whenever we want. We can only do that in real life.
on top of mentioning about how they try to break lap records here on the asphalt, they've done that on the dirt as well. And just to give you an idea and kind of how insane it is, I mean, it's I know some people, some drivers absolutely prefer asphalt over dirt, for whatever reason, or in this case, concrete over dirt. But to give you an idea of the difference and kind of how insane sprint car drivers can be at times, lap record for qualifying here at Bristol is held by Ryan Blaney from 2019 with 14.528 seconds and an average of 132.075 miles an hour. The Bristol dirt track record, Sam Hafertep Jr. set the dirt track record with a lap of 13.326 seconds, an average of 142.098 miles an hour. So a full second, even more faster than what the NASCAR's going to do around here. So it's not just it's crazy just to think that someone can hop in a wing sprint car with basically you're just sitting in a roll cage with wheels and a wing on top of you. That's it. You're not in the there's this huge cockpit like you are in a NASCAR, and just hold the thing flat to the floor, go into the corners, go sideways at 150 plus miles an hour. It's just the cojones that it takes to do it. I mean, not taking anything away from NASCAR drivers at all, but it's amazing what some of these drivers can do on dirt. But out here right now, the man doing everything on the concrete is Michael Casey. Still got the lead, not by much, as he's got worked around Bradley Worley here on lap traffic here, the 88. The 15 of TJ Ivy keeping him in check and really trying to come off that high of winning last time out at Rockingham and try and maybe go back to back here. And it's kind of funny. We've only had 2 drivers so far this season with 2 wins, but both of them went back to back. Mike Casey early on in the season went back to back in race number 2 and 3, getting his 2 wins. Looks like Matthew Radford, some major issues on the 97 there. maybe a blown tire or a broken axle. He's going to have to bring that 97 down into pit lane. Hopefully get it turned down in there. Looks like he will. But as I mentioned, it is Michael Casey with one of them that has 2 wins on the season. And then the other one from 2 races ago, he completed his back-to-back. Zane Bierman winning at North Wilkesboro and then at Talladega. Pretty much the exact opposite kinds of tracks. You go from North Wilkesboro to Talladega, but he was able to get the wins on both of those. But other than that, it's been new winners every week. We'll see if Casey can get his 3rd. We'll see if Ivy can get his 2nd in a row. Or maybe if we get our 7th different winner out of 9 races.
Yeah, I mean, the league as a whole, I mean, it's our first year here with 191, and or I should say our first season. And, you know, the drivers are pretty, you know, they're spread out, Carl. I mean, the talents, obviously you see a few drivers that poke their nose pretty much every single race up towards the front, but things can happen and somebody else is just consistent and makes the right call on a pit stop. So the talent kind of varies, you know, and it's pretty close. It allows the drivers to have that opportunity to win. There is only, like, you know, there's been about 15 to 20 drivers out here each week usually. And, you know, it depends on the track. Some people like a short track. Some people hate short tracks. Some, you know, that's obviously vice versa for the super speedways. You know, this track here falls into, you might hate short tracks, but it's super, super fast. So maybe it's fun. I think that's what it is for me. And it's just things can kind of go your way or not go your way. And I don't know if it's necessarily short tracks, to be honest, Carl. Just typically short tracks, they're flat, and it just seems so difficult to maintain your tires, really kind of get any kind of groove going, and things can happen a little bit easier without those corners kind of like hugging you in. I guess we want to say.
It's exactly why we always argue with each other when it comes to tracks like Phoenix and New Hampshire. Even though those tracks are 1 mile long, you consider them short tracks because of that factor, because they're flatter tracks. There's not that much banking. Here at Bristol, there's 10 times the amount of banking that there is at tracks like New Hampshire or the Milwaukee Mile. But, you know, those obviously twice the size as well, so they can chew up tires as much, if not more, than here at Bristol. Bristol, yeah, I mean, it's the tires seem to hold on pretty well here. The typically concrete tracks are going to rip up the tires a little bit more, but, you know, tracks like Nashville, as we go 3 wide through the corner there, somehow they make it through. But like Nashville Super Speedway, concrete track there, you know, it seems to rip up tires a little bit more than tracks like here at Bristol or even at the Dover Mile, just because it is flatter. So it's concrete in general will wear the tires more, at least what we've seen, than asphalt. But, you know, the high banks here help the car kind of set in there and maybe wear them a little bit more evenly.
Yeah, I mean, I know the tires will go away, and it's a big difference when you do get new tires here. But to kind of go in the pits here, you're in danger of going a lap down, probably 2 laps down. And that pulls you out of the lucky dog spot. It can mean a lot of different things. And when you get back out, obviously you have to get routed drivers and stuff. So a lot of drivers don't care for a green flag pit stop here because a lot of things can happen. A lot of mistakes happen here at the Iracing service, but that's what this place is. It's fast, it's short, and you can get to even maybe 3 laps on somebody as they go down into the pit.
Yeah, and I mean, it even comes down to sometimes drivers question how to pit here at Bristol, because there's 2 different layouts. You can have this thing as a single pit lane, so you enter in the exit of turn number 2, and you have to drive down through both pit lanes. You guys keep down all the way on that apron all the way through onto the front stretch if that's where your pit box is, or you can have it like they have here tonight, which is dual pit lanes. So there's basically essentially 2 separate pit lanes, one on the back stretch, one on the front stretch. Obviously with only 15 cars here in attendance, everybody pitting on the front stretch here tonight, so no confusion there. So they would come off the track in turn number 4 and dive down into the pit lane on the front stretch. But haven't had a chance to see the green flag pit stops here tonight, and we'll see. I mean, 150 laps could definitely be long enough for them to have green flag pit stops if we can get this thing stretched out. And so far, knock on wood, been a nice little run here since we got back going.
Yeah, it's just the drivers need to get in their groove, and like I said, nobody's wanting to come in right now for that pit stop, and you could see somebody that's maybe 2 or 3 laps down right now. They want them to start pitting, and hopefully they can get their lap back, and then a caution come out, and then they'd be right back with them again. So yeah, it's a tough one here. It's a big strategy, and or not big strategy, but big decisions to make when it comes down this pits. Having 2 lanes is obviously the way to go. I think this is the place I can't, like, I was doing a race here just a few months ago, Carl. It was a long time since I got in the trucks. And anyways, it was an official, and they had it as 1 lane, and I kept coming in off of 3. I kept coming in the pits, and I kept getting a black flag. I'm like, and all it was doing was putting me at the end of the pack, and I'm like, well, this ain't so bad. I just stay out of trouble, I'll just stay back here. Not a big deal, but I just kept driving in. I just take the end of the line penalty, not a big deal. And then once I figured it out, I ended up, instead of being in the back, I mean, they had so many cautions, but I went from the back, and I ended up finishing like 5th. But I stayed in the back so much because every time I needed to pit, I just go down off of 3. So, or off of 4.
Meanwhile, if you picked correctly, you could have won the race by like 6 laps over everybody else who excelled.
Oh yeah, I was like, I was just kind of like, this is okay, just it was kind of chaotic and up towards the front. Anyways, that's where I like a lot of the incidents where it happened. So I just kind of, it was okay, just kind of mowing my way around. I just wanted to drive the truck. I just wanted to get out there and just do a few laps.
Mix it up a little bit. Yeah.
And you just kind of, when you get to all this nice equipment and it sits here, and I don't race as much as I used to. That's facts. I don't run the ovals like I used to. I mean, my first 6 months in iRacing, I had, I'd get off work and I'd just race. I had over 250 official races or something on the first 6 months, all oval.
It's about the same now. It's just, every time you get off of work, it's broadcast. I mean, we're broadcasting Sunday through Thursday at this point, and even still looking at picking up some more. So yeah, it's gotten quite busy, and that's why it was kind of nice. Our Thursday broadcast that we do had the week off, and that's what gave me a chance to get out here and mix it up with these guys out here in 191 Motorsports and give them a little run for their money, but. It was just nice to get back in a car, and it was my first time in getting out getting the new ARCA car, and I even had to buy it before the session. And I gotta say, I mean, maybe pulling on my heartstrings, being on dirt certainly helped, but the ARCA car definitely felt like a fun new car to get into. Jimmy, have you had any chance to get into that new ARCA car yet?
No, I still need to buy it. Nobody's been asked. We haven't been asked to broadcast it, and I don't. Like I said, I haven't really chose to do ovals, and so it sits there awaiting in my my bin to be purchased for whatever league decides to run ARCA and ask CRN to come on board. I'll definitely pick it up. I have no problem. Anytime a track like Irwindale we did on last Monday, never owned it. It's the home of the Crazy 8, and I just, every time week 13 would come, I just, what was that?
A little issue right there as Pinkston gets in the back of the 85. I'm not sure if the 85 was slowing down to get out of the way or go into the pits, as we do have some pit stops. Foster Yates down into the pits here as well, and I think it was just maybe a little miscommunication there for the 22, certainly not intentional there, and it looks like the 85 did make it down to the pits, but maybe in our pit window here, because we even got another one here as now the 22 of Pinkston does come down into the pits as well. We'll see what the leaders do, but there's Bradley Worley getting a lap back here at the front, right in front of our leaders. The 6 of Michael Casey getting pressured here by the 15 of TJ Ivey.
Yeah, just obviously TJ, he's had a series of pretty good runs here and able to finally come out on top, so going to put that pressure on Michael Casey, as Michael Casey's been one of the faster guys here in the league, and finds himself up front, maybe leading a few laps, but usually when it comes down to it, he still has to make the same decisions. He still has to be smart about his pit stops, and some of the passes he's been penalized a few times for being a little aggressive and maybe bumping somebody, but usually finds himself coming back to the front. So that's what's good about Casey. He runs the league pretty well, and you know, he's not afraid. Oh, and that's a hard one there. I think that was by Radford.
At 31.
The 31
Garner,
into the outside wall. That was Dale Garner into the wall. Looks like he's going to have to bring that 31 into the pits. Unfortunately, and I was about to say, it's not just TJ Ivy running up on Michael Casey. It's all these other cars that are trying to get their laps back, and we'll try and get you. I'm not sure if we're live here, but TJ a little too out in the corner. Got some help there. Might have got some help from Bradford, and the 5 is going to slide sideways, and hopefully everybody sees him on the front stretch.
That was close by 57.
And no. Definitely close right there.
I'll try to go back and see what happened there. I was getting a kind of... We've seen Bierman go around, but I think that's what ended up calling... Oh, right there. Boom.
Yeah, it was maybe a late pit call there for the 15 of Ivy. Kind of backed up. Radford got into the back of him, and then right there, the 5 of Zane Bierman, really nowhere to go as well. Gets him sideways. And he was kind of stuck right in the middle of the track. But we'll take a look at this whole thing here again. I think maybe TJ Ivy trying to get around the 6 and then dive down into the pits. Didn't work out exactly how he wanted to. I was just about to say, Jimmy, I mean, you know, we've seen everything that's gone on here so far, you know, the couple of early cautions here tonight. But we're already past the halfway point at this point. I mean, we're already out there into the 80s now, so we're going to see now the whole field complete their pit stops because TJ Ivy, Matthew Jordan, and Richard Hartman all still yet to pit. Now they will bring it down into pit lane, which you'll see right here at the end as Zane Bierman trying to save this thing and gets a little sideways here on the front stretch, but very close trying to get this thing spun back around.
Yeah, he was able to get it stopped, obviously, you know, after it started to go sideways, but TJ Ivy very lucky by missing the pit entrance there, coming in too hot. He got a shot in the back. I don't know if he would have been able to make it, but I think the 90s, that was the 97 of Matthew Radford, gave him the shot as you know, he went around the 6, so but yeah, it's definitely a close one here running here tonight so far. The late caution here on lap 87 of 150 is gonna group them back up. It's gonna mix things up. We'll see where everybody stands as the caution flag is ran.
But while we got a chance here, we'll bring in our in-race reporter here, the driver of the 88, Bradley Worley. And Brad, you kind of got stuck behind here a little bit. You know, I know you're back down there in 13th position here. You guys had a nice little run right there, but yeah, the race now a little bit over halfway. Do you feel like, you know, a caution or two here can get you back in this thing?
I doubt it. I'm having issues with my pedals.
Well, that certainly doesn't help you. And you need to be working the pedals here at Bristol. But you know, what's the car feel like out there? Can you get a feel with the pedals the way they are?
No, they're terrible right now.
All right. Well, we'll try and let you get back out there and see what you can do. Hopefully, you can make this happen here to the end.
All right, man. Thank you.
Sounds like he's having a rough break, and that's, you know, one thing. Obviously, people have issues with a lot of things. But we'll go green here. Field is kind of all spread up. I'm not sure what was going on here, but TJ Ivy out front over the 23 of Matthew Jordan. Richard Hartman in 3rd, Paul Helms in 4th. Michael Casey is sitting back in 5th. The caution flag reflies. I think that's driven by the admins here for that caution, as everybody was just kind of all spread out. But gotta give those time for the drivers to kind of get back together, get things rolling around here. Pace car is back out. So we'll see where everybody lies here. The drivers are going to get way around here as this comes around. Man, it almost bugs me to know that the paints aren't working. I like I said, I really apologize. There ain't nothing I can do. You see when I go, like, when this happens and they go all white, like all, like nothing on them at all, they're grayed out, like they're a bunch of practice cars. That's me trying to reload the paints after trying to download the other program, and because it's you can paint your car in Iracing, and it's just pretty generic, and it got certain sponsors they can put on there. But these drivers take so much time to fancy up a car, whether it's after their favorite NASCAR team or a sponsor, or to bring awareness for like cancer or something. They take so much time doing this, and when this stuff doesn't work, it really bugs me. And it's not that, it's not them driving the car. It's not the. I'm trying to put their product on TV.
Yeah, a lot of times, the drivers themselves are like, it happens. That things happen. They're not, mad at us. It's because it's out of our control. I mean, there's times where Trading Paints has updates or issues or whatever it is. Especially after an iRacing update, usually it seems like is when there's some major issues. But we're at the whim of them. We're at the whim of Trading Paints to actually be working right, and hopefully it does, and hopefully we get all the cars looking exactly the way they should. But when it doesn't, I'm with Jimmy. It honestly probably pisses us off more than it does the drivers. But
I deleted the folders. I even went in and deleted the paint folders where they're stored. I deleted those so they'd reload, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
If somebody's out there and they know the fix of when everything is running, the update iRacing, let me know. I would have really appreciate it, and I'll write it down somewhere, because I think I've been told before. I've been told before, but and I keep thinking I'm doing it right, but maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but everything is good to go. We're gonna worry about these drivers finishing up the race here. We got about 60. Wait a minute. Yeah, about 58 laps. Remaining. We got about 58 laps remaining here. I looked at the 150 and the 9. I was like, oh, 6. No, we're not quite that far yet. So
I'd math it a little bit here, and I'm not sure if we're live, at least on my end here, because I heard the green flag before we got done there. So either way, we are back to racing here. It's CJ Ivey out front right now. Matthew Jordan in second. Good restart from the front. Richard Hartman the third in third right now, as he was one of those drivers that stayed out a little bit longer than everybody else, and was able to pit under that caution. But it's certainly kind of thrown everything for a loop here. And now we only have 7 drivers on the lead lap, that being TJ Ivey, Matthew Jordan, Richard Hartman, Mike Casey, Billy Rickett, Paul Helms, and Foster Yates. And then you got 2 drivers, Matthew Radford, Zane Bierman. They're down 1 lap. Rounding out the top 10 is Daniel Pinkston as himself. And Wade Inyard are 2 laps down. Brad Worley is stuck back there 3 laps down with his pedal issues. Scott Anderson is in 13th, 4 laps down, and then we're getting a little mixed up here. But the Douglas Ivey in the 85, he is 7 laps down in 14th, and Dale Garner Jr. is 15 laps down in the 31 there in 15th position, as it got a little sketchy there with some of the drivers getting close to each other. But this is, I don't want to say it's go time yet once it gets to 50 laps to go, but I mean, these drivers had what should be their one and only pit stop now for the race. Everybody has made their pit stop. Looks like Douglas Ivey in the 85 maybe having some issues. He's back in pit lane, but it's a time where you need to start figuring out what you got in your car. Right now is CJ Ivey out front. Matthew Scruffy Jordan there in second, trying to just keep with him. And we've seen that 15 hasn't really led at all. I mean, the first time he led was when he went to try and come into the pits and maybe get ahead of Mike Casey on the pit stop. Didn't exactly work out for him, or maybe you can say that it did, because he ended up staying out there once caution came out, and now he's got the lead. And it seems like he may have the car to beat here tonight. So you see Jordan trying to keep up with him as much as possible. Casey back here in third, trying to just catch up to Jordan and maybe make his way back up to the front. But Billy Rickett here in the 7, looking a little racy here late in the race.
Yeah, I was watching Billy during practice while you guys were we were just kind of waiting for time to go by, and the 7 here was the fastest during practice. So he definitely has the ability to go fast out there. So we'll see if the 7 can make his way up to the front and to top it off here in the podium, as he's working on the back of the 6 of Michael Casey. So Michael Casey under some pressure now, and there's 7 of Billy Rickett.
Before I forget, want to send a shout out to our season sponsors here, One Vision, EMS and Transports, Kim's Cups and More, and Offier and Crone Heating and Cooling. And I really want to give a shout out to all you fans out there as well. I want to thank you for tuning in here tonight. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like, hit subscribe, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer us. Once again, we're back at full throttle here this week as we've got the 191 Motorsports race here tonight. Tomorrow night we'll have the Hold Your Brakes Academy as they are heading to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, the one that's not the freshly paved, the one that's a little bit rougher and a little bit tougher to handle. Then on Tuesday night we'll be at Iowa Speedway for the Core Xfinity Series. Wednesday night we'll be at the Daytona Road Course for CSRL, and then Thursday night we will be, myself and Jimmy will be in the booth at Homestead, Miami for Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA Series and the Core GT Series with Alan and Jack will be at the Daytona Road Course as well. So plenty of racing action here at CRN. If you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe if you want to get in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As the 6 and 23 almost get in touch with each other.
Yeah, 6 got by the 23 of Matthew Jordan there to take over number 2. So now Scruffy trying to hold on to that position. At the 7 of Billy Rickey trying to set him up. Basically, you can see the lane changes to see where Scruffy's got to be looking and hopefully be able to time it and be able to make the pass on number 23 and continue his march forward. Biggest movers of the race here tonight so far is going to be Billy Rickett up 8 spots, and along with Richard Hartman also up 8 spots in number 52. 52 taking the chance, rolling the dice, and staying out there is trying to get around there. And what you see on the screen with a 52 Gatorade machine, but we know probably that is not right.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is an all-purple one with the 191 Motorsports on the hood.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it even tougher when it comes to me and Jimmy. It's one thing, what you're seeing out there is what Jimmy is seeing on his screen. Yeah. But then when he's talking about say he's talking about the Gatorade car like he was just talking about Richard Hartman, I don't see a Gatorade car on my screen. I see a completely different one. So that's what gets really screwy and just irritates both of us that we don't even know who each other is talking about. But either way, we got a nice little run brewing here once again, and again, he gets the green flag running here, and the laps just tick away. We're down to 35 to go here, and it's TJ Ivey stretching out that lead, 3.9, going up to 4 seconds now. Michael Casey's moved back up into second, but he's got a big deficit he's got to try and erase.
It's huge, and to have that amount of time. I mean, he's got time. Still have 34 laps remaining here, but they'll go by really quick. So, it's 15 seconds a lap. It's and for it doesn't take long. So about 15 seconds a lap. You only have we got less than 10 minutes at this pace.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and now with the field spread out here a little bit, it really just. It can happen quickly. I mean, you can have one car just smack the wall by himself and spin sideways on the track, and obviously Iracing is going to throw the caution, but it's a less of a chance for a multi-car incident, which is certainly a good thing out there. But I gotta give a shout out right here to Matthew Jordan having another good run out here, up in the 3rd place. It's clearly seems like it's been the 15 and the 6 looking to dominate here tonight. The 5 right there behind him, Zane Bierman, had a decent car, but unfortunately got kind of caught up with the whole pit stop issues, and only down 1 lap here in 9th position. But it's kind of really just hurting him right now, and he would love to see a caution here to try and get back on the lead lap. What he'd really like to do is catch up to that 97 of Matthew Radford and get into the lucky dog position, so that way if the caution comes out, he doesn't have to worry about staying out there and maybe getting a wave around, not being able to pit. He'd love to be in that lucky dog spot, but right now the 15 holding it down out front, stretching out the lead even further. It's out to over 5 seconds right now over the 6 of Mike Casey. And I'll tell you what, Jimmy, for the 3rd time this season, we could be looking at somebody that's going to win 2 wins back to back.
I mean, I mean, it's in the cards right now. I think Mike Casey is in a point right now. You know, obviously he knows maybe a bigger picture. You know, maybe need to continue that points chase. And right now you're not in a bad spot. If TJ Ivy gains a couple points on you here tonight, you're still going to finish in second. So there's a bigger picture here for the 6. I think obviously would love to win, but maybe losing out on tires, maybe pushing a little bit too hard. Maybe out in the battle with a lap car, or somebody else. You had Billy Rickett back there was chasing him, so put some pressure on him. You had to get around Matthew Jordan, and Matthew's been fast at a lot of different places. And now you got the 52 of Richard Hartman moving up in 4th. Paul Helms sitting there up in 3rd. So it's going to be a good one here, Carl. It's kind of mixed up. It's, I think, a different field up front at the moment, but we've seen this battle here before, TJ Ivy and Michael Casey.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth noting that TJ Ivy, we talked with him last week about it. I mean, the 15's been fast almost every race this season. He just has not gotten any kind of luck, not gotten any kind of good finishes in the season, noteworthy, really, until he finally broke through last week at Rockingham. And now that he's got that 15 out front, less of a chance of somebody else maybe ruining his race. And he's out there trying to win this thing and go back-to-back. But he comes in, even after the win last week, all the way down in 9th place in the points. Now, a win tonight could very well vault him all the way up, close to, if not into, the top 5 in the standings. Still going to need some work to catch up to Michael Casey at the front of this field. But you never know. You never know with how these final races in the season play out. You maybe see something crazy happen at the end. Jason Christman, 2nd in the points, not here tonight, unfortunately. Paul Helms, 3rd in the points. Up there, was in 3rd, dropping now back to 4th. But, again, another one looking up at Michael Casey. And Casey right now not in the lead. Not looking like he's going to factor in the win unless, something changes here at the end. But another good points night. And it's another one that's going to get him one step closer to that championship.
Yeah, I mean, you start getting to the point now. I mean, obviously, past the halfway mark, only a few races remaining. You key to secure the spot here. Don't do anything detrimental that's going to throw your points lead away. You want to try to maintain your best finishes as possible and come away a champion for the season here within the league. So Mike Casey might be just kind of stepping back, just that extra step here. And just to get a good finish here tonight, as TJ Ivy is kind of walking away here with now an 8-second lead. And also, fuel, Carl, 15 laps to go. Do they have enough fuel to go the rest of the way?
I mean, we've seen them go to the halfway point in the first half, but, granted that was with a couple of cautions in the beginning. So is that what they needed to get to the halfway point? I guess we're about to find out here one way or another. But, I mean, if TJ Ivy needs to save fuel, he's not doing a good job doing it because he is just foot flat to the floor. He's got that lap pedal all the way down, and he is stretching out. I mean, he is at 8.7 seconds in the lead right here. And again, we talked about it. This track is less than 15-second lap time. I mean, right now they're a little bit slower because they're used tires, down to 15.8 seconds for the last time around there for TJ Ivy, but that's still a half a track lead on second place. That's crazy, especially how close they were in the beginning of this run. And Ivy trying to get around the 6 of Casey early on in this race, and maybe he was just kind of hanging back there and letting Casey kind of burn up his tires or use up the car a little bit. And now that he's gotten the lead, he's just checking out, and he's got all but 4 other drivers at least one lap down in this field. There's a 72 there of Scotty Henderson bouncing off the wall a little bit in front of him. That's one thing that Ivy doesn't want to see. He doesn't want to see anybody have issues in front of him because he's starting to get mixed up in some lap traffic here.
He's coming up on the battlefield here. He's coming up on the 72 right now. Scott Henderson looking to possibly get by. Obviously has a nice lead, so it's not like he's under pressure to move. He's now got that gap out down to 10 seconds. So it's there's no way that I'm gonna go ahead. I mean, Casey would have to close him a second a lap
So there's no sense of that 15 pushing hard here. Let those drivers in front of them, if they're gonna do their racing here, let them race. Just watch that gap, and maybe when it starts closing down, know that you need to pick it up a little bit. But right now, there's no push for that 15, and that's all part of the racecraft, Carl. When it comes down to it, obviously you're the leader, you want to go fast and you want to win, but if you don't make the smart decision to let maybe a few slower drivers battle it out for a lap or two, and especially when you got a big buffer like this, and you won't win races. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. You just have to be smart. You got the win. He basically has the win. He just has to make smart decisions all the way to the end.
Well, and that's honestly something that I struggle with at times. If I'm out there in the lead and he's close to the wall there, but backing off the pace doesn't work well for me. It changes exactly. It changes the balance of the car, whether it's on oval or on road. It changes everything, because if you're flat to the floor, you know what the downforce is going to be for the car, but all of a sudden you're lifting a little bit. It's going to be, it's going to feel different. It's going to feel different in the corners. How you're taking the corner is going to feel a little bit different. All of a sudden, where you felt like you were pushing, if you're lifting off the gas a little bit more, then all of a sudden it's going to be, a situation where it's maybe going to get a little bit loose because you're not putting all that weight on the back tires. So it's delicate and it's tough. And you see the 22 here really coming through the corner up to the 15, and clearly he's got new tires right there, and you see how quick new tires are. But to me, I look at it as I can't back it down 100%, and no matter how big of a lead I have, but I try and be cautiously aggressive. You still go out there and try and put those lap times down, but you're being super aware of your surroundings and watching everything that's going on around you. But the only thing we're watching right now is that 15 come to the line, as no matter how he was driving, doesn't matter. It's got him to the win here tonight. And TJ Ivey goes back-to-back. The third time this season we've seen a new winner go back-to-back and win 2 races straight in a row. The question is, can he keep this roll going here? Can he finish out the season on this hot streak that he is, and maybe if he keeps that 15 up front, less chance of getting into issues than anybody else. It's clearly working out for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's working out, and he was able to take advantage of that caution, and it was almost detrimental that he almost nosed it into the water barrels on a blown pit entry as he was trying to get around Mike Casey coming down into the pits. But was not expecting a car to realize what he was doing. Ended up getting a shot, I think, by Radford, and it pushed him too fast. He ended up missing the pits, Carl. So, and obviously the caution came out shortly thereafter. So, was able to get around that part, and then got in the pits, got his service, and came back out, and took the lead from there. So, Mike Casey kind of lost it. I mean, as that caution came in, because Mike Casey did continue to come down pit road, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure he got practice, so I don't know if that gave him a penalty or not. I guess we'll find out when we talk to Mike.
It might have given him like an end of line penalty or something like that, since he was down in pit road, and I'm not sure exactly when the caution came out, but I think he was past the commit cone, so it's kind of a touchy situation there. But give you a final rundown of tonight's results. TJ Ivey getting it done here, getting the win, second win on the season. Mike Casey in second, Richard Hartman in third. So a new driver we'll get to talk to here after the race, getting a nice little podium here tonight. Paul Helms, Matthew Jordan rounding out your top 5, then Billy Rickett, Matthew Radford, Foster Yates, Zane Bierman, and Wade Enyart for your top 10. Good run there for the 21er. Enyart getting that top 10. Daniel Pinkston, Brad Worley, Scotty Henderson, Douglas Ivey, and DJ Garner rounding out your 15-car field. But we had a couple nice little runs here at Bristol, and really it was that first nice little long run that got us to those green flag pit stops that kind of mixed up this field a little bit. Some drivers certainly pitting before that caution, and it got them down a few laps and kind of took them out of this race. But I'll tell you what, even if this thing stayed green, it was going to be tough catching that 15 here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was definitely a good race, and I think there's a few cars I think they had the speed that can match TJ. And watching at practice, there was a few that were kind of piquing my interest, and it was really kind of,
how much you could sustain that pace, because sometimes you look at practice and you can see who's the fastest. That's, I mean, it just, all that means to me is who could put the flyer down, who was out there, got the right window of cars, was able maybe to sneak a small draft in somewhere and really put down that quickest time. And it does feel good when you get out there, you're like, I'm the fastest one for practice. But to kind of come out here for 150 laps straight and sustain that pace is probably asking way too much. It's definitely asking way too much of your tires. So the drivers coming out here to have a consistent race. They had a couple little cautions, nothing too drastic to be honest. Just typical short track racing kind of incidents, and especially being here, like I said, at Bristol, things can blow up really quickly. So maybe things getting a little out of control. But maybe the big one being right there, the last one, right before and during pit stops.
Top three here in for their interviews. Want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Thank our season sponsors as well. One Vision EMS and Transports, Kim's Cups and More, and Off Here Crone Heating and Cooling. But it's time to talk to our top three, and we're going to start with the 52, if I get myself back in the right spot here. We're going to start with the 52 of Richard Hartman III. And Richard, it was a heck of a race that just played out right exactly how you wanted it to. I mean, you stayed out there, you ran that thing long, and you were one of the last ones to be out there without pitting for your first time, and that caution just worked out beautifully.
Yeah, it did. It worked out pretty good. I was actually trying to pit with Mike the lap prior, but I missed pit road and decided to stay out, and then somebody yelled that there was going to be a caution, so we stayed out and got up there, but just decided to drift back and let everybody else burn up their stuff and just keep trying to save tires and run consistent lap times, and managed to catch everybody and place third.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what happened there, because I seen you restarted back there in third, and I seen you slip back there to maybe fifth or sixth, and I thought maybe something happened on the restart that we missed, or what the case was. But all of a sudden, look back up here and you charged your way back up through here. But you started back there in 14th position. Was it a case of not getting a good lap down, not getting a lap down at all, or just preferring to start towards the back?
Just start towards the back, because everybody wants to go out there. They were pretty sure that it was going to be a caution-ridden race, so everybody wanted to get up front, and I just decided to hang back, got caught up in an accident early, and had to go in and burn a fast repair, so that gave me a couple laps fresher tires, which allowed me to stay out, but just taking care of my tires and running consistent lap times.
Yeah, and realistically, for a Bristol race, I thought this went pretty smoothly. Bristol, a lot of times, because it's a short track and it's so fast, and so many drivers have had so many laps on this track that sometimes overconfidence comes in. But I didn't really think that was the case here tonight. I thought it was a pretty clean race, all things considered.
Yeah, it was a pretty clean race out there. I feel bad for Brad. This is Bad Brad's track out here. He normally runs away from everybody at Bristol, but I believe he was having accelerator issues to where he was not able to go full throttle. So that sucks, because I followed him many laps around this track, and he taught me a thing or two. This is his favorite track, so I got hats off to Brad for teaching me everything that I know on this track.
Well, at least you get to learn from him and get yourself a podium up here. Yeah, we did talk to mid-race, and he was mentioning he had some pedal issues. So it sucks when that happens, and especially if it's one thing if you're having some brake pedal issues, maybe you can get around it here at Bristol. But if you can't go full throttle, it's going to be a little tough. But either way, a good finish for you here tonight. I believe it's the first podium of the season for you. So I want to say congrats on the third place here tonight. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Of course, all the admins of the league, you guys for doing a fantastic job. I want to thank One Vision EMS and Transports, as well as Kim's Cups. They do an awesome job. I believe that there's some merchandise opportunities coming out for 191 Motorsports through them shortly. So that's something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Well, congrats again on that top 3. I want to thank you for the shout outs as well. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you again before this season ends.
Hopefully. Thank you, sir.
That is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 52 of Richard Hartman III. 2nd place here tonight, Wells Repulsor going to come home in 2nd, the 6 of Mike Casey.
Hey, Mike, Jimmy, and Carl, Naboot, you copy.
I've got you guys. What's going on, fellas?
Well, not too bad. You started off on fire out there out front, grabbing the pole and leading the way, and then obviously things happen, and then kind of wanted to get your take on what kind of happened or transpired there right as the caution came out late towards the race, which were kind of, it set you back.
Yeah, well, at least I didn't Rockingham myself, so I'll give myself a little pat on the back for that. But yeah, early on in the race, I don't know what happened, but somebody didn't check up and ran me over, and I had damage on the back end of the car, and then I struggled a little bit with that, and then I pitted on lap 75, and I did not have my fast repair check because I didn't think the damage was that bad. And once I pulled into my pit box, I think I had 38 seconds worth of damage, so my car was struggling. So, and then, you know, of course, I pit, and then we get a yellow, so that shuffles me back through the pack, and I was trying to take my time getting through everybody without just pushing people out of the way. I was trying to be, you know, do the right thing, not just run people over, and then we just never got that yellow, and TJ just kind of ran away with it. So I don't know, I feel like I've been in position for quite a few of these to get a win and get back in victory circle, and it's just for whatever reason I just kind of keep having stuff happen. So, but I'm not complaining. A P2 at Bristol, I'll take it.
I mean, I want to complain either. Obviously, a bigger picture in mind, maybe, as the championship and the season is starting to get in the later, you know, parts of the season. So that's what I was saying to myself. You know, as I'm the 6th, I made my way through. Maybe there's just no time to real to push. Obviously, TJ maybe closer in the points, but you know, as P number 2, you're not going to lose the points lead overnight. So maybe the 6 just making smarter decisions for the long haul. That's what I was saying and telling everybody out there tonight. So that's what I kind of thought. But either way, you still get a good points night here. You still get a great finish. This is a tough track. It can be nice. It can be good to you, or it can be straight up just nasty. And you were able to kind of work your way through some diversities and challenges here tonight. So congratulations on your 2nd place finish, and I'll give you some time for any shouts you might have in that number 6.
Yeah, like I said, we'll take it. P2. We've definitely with the 6 car, we've been pretty consecutive this season, so I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, thank you guys for doing your all's broadcast, and appreciate you all helping out with race control. Really do appreciate that. It helps us out. Give a shout out to Richard and TJ on their podiums tonight. It was well deserved, and from what I could see in the car, I think everybody in 191 did a good job tonight. So appreciate everybody coming out and racing and enjoying Bristol. Shout out to Kim's Cups and More, and then One Vision EMS Transport. And I didn't get to shout them out last weekend because I decided to spin out on the last lap, but shout out to my work, Allfinger and Crone Heating and Cooling. Appreciate you guys if any of you all are watching, and yeah, just appreciate everybody on YouTube watching, and you know, we'll move on to the next one. And I think we're headed to a little bit of a bigger track, so maybe that'll do me some good. Get the get back in victory circle here.
I'll definitely hope you can shake off the cobwebs and get back to victory circle for at least one more time here before the end, as the season is coming to a close here in just a few short weeks. So, but again, congratulations on that 2nd place finish. Thanks for the shout outs, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
And I made sure to only bring up the Rockingham incident one time in the beginning of the race. So
I think we're gonna do something next season for bonus points for whoever does the rock. Next season's gonna get a bonus point, so stay tuned for season 4, I guess.
Or maybe a bonus point for every clean restart at Rockingham.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. That is the driver of the 6th, 2nd place here tonight, Mike Casey. Top spot here tonight, and the man that could not be touched here in the second half of this race. It was the 15 of TJ Ivy. And TJ, we kind of talked, pre-race about how you guys, you've had 8 races so far, 6 different winners, with you being the most recent winner at Rockingham. But of the drivers that were able to repeat, both of them did it on back-to-back nights, and now here you're the 3rd driver here tonight as 3rd driver here for the season that ended up repeating back-to-back nights, so 2nd win of the season.
Did you lose him?
Like, now it looks like he might be muted here in the channel. Or if he just needs to unmute himself or not.
I am here.
Hey, there he is. There he is.
Power just went out at the house.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, just got done mentioning how it's been coming up to tonight. It was 8 different races with 6 different winners, with the repeat winners winning back-to-back nights, and you're the most recent winner at Rockingham last week, and now you're the third one to go back-to-back.
Yeah, I was not sure how Bristol would have worked out. It was fun tonight. That's what me and Mike were talking about in the waiting room. Wish we could have kind of got to see how it played out, me and him. But yeah, it's fun.
So obviously, got to ask you. First thing is, the caution there, kind of mid-race when you guys are about to make green flag pit stops. Casey drops down to the inside. Were you, at that point before the incident and the eventual caution, were you already planning on coming in at the same time, maybe just trying to jump him, get in front of him in the pit lane, or was it, kind of last second you decided to try and dive down in there?
No, we were gonna. I was my plan. If I was behind him, I was gonna go with him. So I saw him peek off. I hit the button and then jumped down, and it was a little too hot, and things happened behind me, and I hate that for some of the guys.
Yeah, it certainly mix things up. Whenever you have a caution in the middle of a green flag run there, especially at Bristol, where drivers can go 1, 2, 3 laps down there under green flag conditions. It definitely mixed up the field, but ultimately, it looked like that 15 was just going to be hard to beat here tonight. You definitely had a rocket ship in there, and what was it? Was it just that the handling kind of fell to you? Was it you liked the track here at Bristol under the lights? What was it that just made you so fast here tonight?
I just just like last week at Rockingham, like that front right's going to be your friend. So I was just trying to take care of that as much as possible through the runs. And kind of just ride easy. And if I could get to him, I could get to him. If not, Mike was going to make it hard for me to get by him. Unless I went around on the outside, it wasn't going to happen. I tried a couple times on the inside and had to back out. So, but yeah, I was just trying to take care of the tire or the right front, because that was the biggest thing.
Well, it certainly worked out here, and you stretched that lead out to an amazing 11.6 seconds to finish this thing out. So dominating victory. And it's amazing if that 15 can stay clean, you can get this thing done. It seems like there were so many races, we talked about it last week, where you could have possibly, gotten your first win earlier in the season, but now back-to-back weeks, you're up there towards the front of the field. You stay out of any kind of messes, and you get this thing done. So will we see maybe 3 in a row as you guys head to Indianapolis next week? Is it a track you fancy or no?
Yeah, I like it. I don't know how good I'll be. I guess we'll see next week. I like Pocono. Pocono is one of my favorite tracks to run on this sim. So, it's a fairly similar type style. So, looking forward to it. It should be fun.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the finish here tonight. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, my wife for letting me do this on Sunday nights while I can hear the kids running around outside crazy right now. So, and then, just like I said last week, Mike and the guys at 191 and then you guys as well, putting on these broadcasts and making it look good on YouTube.
And we appreciate it. We try and do what we can. You guys make it look good on the track, so we got to make you guys look good too. So, congrats on second win here in a row and second one on the season. We'll see if you can keep climbing those boards and maybe get yourself a third win next week, or maybe at Michigan or Kentucky before this thing ends.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Winner here tonight, the 15 of TJ Ivey. Again, pretty dominant here once we got green and got going here, especially once he got to the lead at the end as he walked away from the field. 11.7 seconds is a big margin here at Bristol. And how big? Only 3 guys on the lead lap. Your podium finishers here tonight of Ivy, Casey, and Hartman were the only ones on the lead lap. Bunch of drivers back there 1 lap down or more, but it was a good one here. I think it went pretty well for Bristol type of race. Typically you're expecting 7-8 cautions minimum here at Bristol, and we definitely got less than that, and even a few just some decision making errors, some with netcode getting involved as well. But ultimately, I think it went pretty well here for the drivers here at 191 Motorsports. Again, this is just race number 1 for us during the week, and hit that subscribe for CRN It'll get you in touch with all the racing series that we cover all through the week, as we are quite busy. As there our busy time of the season. I mean, I know Santa gets a little busy in December. We're busy pretty much year round, so Santa ain't got nothing on us. But that's going to do it for myself and Jimmy from the booth here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the track.